Would you believe that dipping your face in cold water could calm anxiety faster than a deep breath? It sounds way too simple to matter, but there is solid science behind this. And in today's episode, we are going to explore how cold face immersion taps into your nervous system's built-in calming reflex. And then we're going to talk about how to practice it safely when your stress feels stuck on high alert. Let's start with what's really going on when your body won't settle down. So you have two main gears in your nervous system. The first is your sympathetic nervous system. This is your gas pedal, your accelerator, and it is designed to keep you alive by speeding up your heart, by pumping out adrenaline and keeping your nervous system on high alert. And then the second is your parasympathetic nervous system, and this is like your brake pedal. So that's the part that lets you rest, it lets you digest, heal, and feel safe. Now, the problem happens when stress is constant for too long, whether that is emotional strain, whether it's chronic stress, whether it's blood sugar dips, over-exercising, under-exercising, financial strain, family issues, even the pressure of carrying too much responsibility, the accelerator gets jammed. And suddenly your body is acting like every single moment is an emergency. And that's why you might feel really restless, jittery, or even wake up in the middle of the night with your heart racing. It's not all in your head. This is your nervous system stuck in overdrive. So if you've been there, you are not alone. I see plenty of women who tell me they feel tired but wired. They are desperate for rest but unable to access it, and that is exhausting. So here's where things get fascinating. Cold face immersion is a simple practice of dipping your face into cold water or applying a cold compress across your cheeks and your eyes. And while it sounds almost too basic, it activates something called the mammalian dive reflex. Think of it as your body's built-in calming switch. So when the cold water touches your face, sensors in your skin send an urgent signal through the trigeminal nerve up to the brainstem, and your body responds instantly by slowing your heart rate. It starts to steady your breath, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and hits that brake pedal. So, in other words, this practice speaks directly to your vagus nerve, which is the communication superhighway between your body and your brain. And within seconds, your stress response starts to recalibrate. And unlike caffeine, which just covers up exhaustion, or a distraction, which doesn't solve the root problem either, cold face immersion communicates safety in a way that your nervous system cannot ignore. And that's why it can feel like a reset button in the middle of a panic attack, or when you're overwhelmed, or you're experiencing sensory overload. If you've ever wished that you could shut off the alarm bells in your body, this tool can be a lifeline. It doesn't require willpower, it doesn't require hours of practice. It simply gives your body the one thing that it's been waiting for, which is a physical signal that says you're safe. Now, like any nervous system tool, the way that you approach cold face immersion makes all the difference. And the goal isn't to shock your body into calm, it is to give it a steady, clear message of safety. So here is how you can try this step by step. Step 1, prepare your water. So you can fill a bowl or even your sink with really cool or cold water. Notice I said cool to cold. It doesn't have to have a lot of ice thrown in it, because when we have sensitive systems, painfully cold water can feel more like a stressor than support. So if you're just starting out, aim for something that feels less like ice and is more refreshing, but not really extreme. Step 2, we want to submerge briefly. So take a slow inhale as deeply as you can, and then gently lower your face into the water so that your eyes, your nose, your cheeks, your mouth, everything is covered, and try to hold for 10 to 30 seconds if possible. Do what feels comfortable for you though. Remember, there's no need to push, and you can even build your tolerance up to this slowly over time. And some people prefer doing shorter dips several times instead of one long immersion where they're holding their breath. Next is step 3, and that is breathe and release. So when you come up, exhale slowly. You want to focus on controlled exhale and notice what shifts in your body. Maybe your heartbeat has slowed down. Maybe your muscles are relaxing a little bit. Maybe your mind feels just a touch clearer. Pairing this cold immersion with a longer exhale that is really controlled amplifies that signal to your vagus nerve that it is safe and that it is okay to relax. Step 4, use this as needed. So this isn't something that you need to schedule or force. It is a tool that you can reach for during an anxiety spike, after a heated argument, or when you feel like you're stuck in high alert. So I have a lot of women who use it daily, like a morning reset or an evening wind down, but it works beautifully in the moment too. So if you've been longing for something that you can do during those spirals, something that you don't really have to overthink and is really habitual, quick, and easy, this is one of the simplest ways to intervene and to do that. And the best part is that it doesn't cost a thing. Of course, not every tool is right for everyone. And cold face immersion is safe for most people, but there are a few situations where you will want to proceed gently, discuss this with your practitioner, or skip it altogether. So heart conditions are one. Cold can briefly slow your heart rate. So if you have rhythm issues, you have cardiovascular concerns, etc., try checking with your provider first. Raynaud's syndrome is another. So cold exposure can trigger painful vascular spasms in the hands, feet, or face. Then if you have severe nervous system sensitivity, if your body flares really easily with cold, start with very mild changes in temperature or choose an alternative altogether. MCAS or POTS. Some people tend to find cold helps them calm their symptoms, but others do find it triggering. So the key is to start small and observe your body's response. And if it starts to feel uncomfortable or destabilizing or like it's going to send you into a deeper flare-up, stop immediately. Now, listening to your body is key, and that matters more than following any strict or rigid protocol. Now, maybe the idea of dunking your face in cold water feels a bit anxiety-inducing or overwhelming, and that's okay. You don't have to go all in order to get the benefits. There are much gentler ways to stimulate the same calming reflex if you feel like that is what you need to do. So cold compresses are one way of doing this. You can lay a chilled washcloth or a cold gel mask across your eyes and your cheeks for just a minute or two. You can try splashing instead of fully immersing your face into the cold water. You can also try a cold pack on the back of your neck or on the front of your chest, and just rest it there to lightly stimulate the vagus nerve for 30 to 60 seconds. And lastly, we can also pair this with breath work. So even just a mild cooling sensation that's combined with slow, extended exhales can shift your nervous system towards that safety signal. The principle is simple. Give your body a clear physical signal that calm is available. Whether that comes from full immersion, a cold compress, or a refreshing splash, the nervous system still gets the message. So let's take a step back for just a moment. Now, cold face immersion isn't about toughness. It's not about pushing your limits extremely. It's about communicating with your body in a language that it understands. So when your stress response is stuck on high, this practice sends a clear signal that your body can slow down, that it is okay to rest, that it can take the time and the resources to heal. And you can think of this like flipping a breaker in a house that has been overloaded, right? The lights stop flickering, the hum quiets down, everything steadies, all of the electronics get a break to cool down. That is what your nervous system feels when you start to give it small resets. And here's the empowering part. You do not need a lot of expensive special equipment. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a lot of hours of your free time. This is accessible. This is something that you can do whenever that overwhelm starts to take over. So if you've been living on edge, if you feel restless all of the time, if you're very tense or you're worn down by fatigue, your nervous system hasn't been given enough signals that it's safe to power down. And tools like this cold immersion are one of the ways that we can remind it. Now, I know that cold immersion is powerful, but it is just one piece of the puzzle. And to truly reset your nervous system and your stress response, to truly restore your energy and to combat that fatigue and to build resilience, your body needs a consistent framework. And that is exactly what we have created inside of our nervous system healing code and our free Discord server, which will all be linked below. Both are designed to help you shift from that survival mode and into safety, clarity, and steadier energy. So you'll find short, calming practices that you can actually stick with, practical nutrition strategies, and co-regulation techniques with a community that understands. So let's close with this. Your nervous system isn't broken, it is protective. And when it gets stuck on high alert, small tools like this cold face immersion can remind it that calm is possible. So the next time that you feel wired, anxious, or overwhelmed, remember a bowl of cold water and a few steady breaths may be all it takes to reset.